Hello and welcome. I'm Natalie, and we are going to talk about money. That's the thing. So, how in the world do you buy a car cash? People don't believe me when I say that I've only ever financed one car in my life and I've owned dozens of cars. People don't believe me when I tell them that they can buy a car cash, like it can happen. When you think of cash car, you think of, $1, $2, $3,000 car that barely runs. You're lucky if you can get it down the street. That's what people think of cash cars. I'm going to bust that myth. Darn it. Listen, you can buy a cash car. You just have to save the cash first, and then it's a cash car. Any car is a cash car if you pay cash. Any car. You can buy a $400,000 Bentley. It'll be a cash car if you have the cash. Okay? This is something you should know. So I saw, I think it was a rant that Dave Ramsey gave. I think that's what I was watching. And he was talking about, actually, I think maybe it was even Anthony O'Neill, to tell you the truth. I will see if I can remember to link his channel down below. He's one of the old Dave Ramsey personalities. He's moved on to his own greener pastures or whatever. But he was talking about reverse engineering big purchases that you're going to make. So if you know you're going to spend, I'm going to give real numbers because it is what it is. I work in real life, right? So if I know I'm going to spend I'm looking at my screen. If I know I'm going to spend $44,000 on a car, I know I need to save $44,000 for the car, minus whatever I could get for my car that I'm going to trade in because I'm not going to keep it because it's too new to keep as a secondary. I need old cars for secondaries, old cars. So I did some research today and I did the horrible thing of filling in the information on Kelley Blue Book. So I used my real information because, all I have to do is just ask them to stop calling, right? Or block them from my phone. So it's fine. So I put in all of my car information so I could get an actual quote. And then I did put in my information because, again, I did want an actual quote. And they sure enough sent me a quote. And I am happy with it. I'm happy with it because I didn't pay that much more for the car than what they're offering to give me back. Part of the reason is because it's rather new. It's a 21, but it has low mileage, and that's a key. It's never been in an accident. It's super clean, and it has all the upgrades. So it's worth a good amount of money. And so if I take the basically $44,000 car that I'm looking at, and I subtract the 27, almost 28,000 that they're going to give me for my car together, if I mix those together in my puzzle, I realize that I need to save a minimum of $16,000. And I was planning on buying a car in a year and a half. So what would that be? That would be 18 months. Do I know how to add? Yes, that's adding. Yes, no. 6 plus 2 is 8. 18 months. I'm sorry. Don't ignore me. Ignore me. I've already got my cocktail, so ignore me. I apologize. Okay. So I have 18 months was my original plan before trading in and purchasing a new car. So I have an idea that I'm going to need around $16,000 in order to make a purchase that I'm going to want, a car that I'm going to want. I already have money saved, and I am on a save $1,000 a month plan right now. So I know I can come up with at least $18,000. That's what I know. And here's the thing. What I figure is the value in my car is going to go down because more miles are going to be put on it. Thankfully, not a lot. I drive about 6,000 or so miles a year. Like it's a little tiny bit of miles because I don't drive anywhere. I don't like to drive at night. And since it's dark at 5 o'clock, half of the year, I don't like to drive. And if I go out ever, it's my boyfriend's always driving his vehicle. So the only place I really drive is to work 3 times a week and then to my car wash every weekend. So having low mileage always helps. Okay, I'm getting off on a tangent. Why am I doing this? Okay, so what I figured out, if I just stay on my $1,000 a month plan, I will have enough money to get a different car that I actually want. Okay, so this one is my car. This is for my 2021 uh, E350. And if I were to trade it in today, or I guess up until February 20th, they would offer me $27,810. So that's great. Now, again, I just purchased this car in April. So I'm doing this just as a test, just to get an idea of what the difference is going to be and what I'm going to sell or trade my car in for versus what I'm going to have to give them cash. I did the same thing when I sold my last car in order to get into the car I'm in now. And I wish I would have taken more time and picked out my perfect car. And for me, my perfect car is black. That's my perfect car. But it wasn't available over the, so I started looking in Christmas of 2023 is when I started looking, actually before that, to tell you the truth, because I wanted to have a different car for Christmas. But anyway, so this is what I did before, and so this is what works for me best. So I will trade this car in. When I see the pricing, I kind of want to trade it in right away to make sure I get the most I possibly can. But I will trade it in probably a year. I probably won't wait a full 2 years or whatever that I was thinking, just because it does have such low mileage and it is, still rather new, so it's still valuable to dealerships. And I'm just the second owner, no accidents. It's in beautiful condition, no scratches or anything crazy. So it's in beautiful condition, and if I'm going to trade it in, now's going to be the time. Oh, they'll give me $27,810 if I were to trade it in before February 20th. So that's fabulous. Now, I did this because I don't remember. I was watching some Dave Ramsey rant, and he was talking about how you shouldn't own a car that's, more than a quarter of your income or some such thing. And I don't follow that rule. So bad on me, because I am not following that rule. But I'm close. So this one is the one I'm going to sell. So let's go ahead and minimize that. And here's the one that I found that I think is just beautiful. So this one is a 2023. So it's only 2 years newer, which is why I would want to wait a year before I get a different car. Okay. But this one is the 4MATIC, which is four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive actually on Mercedes, is an all-wheel drive, which is what I want. That's what I traded in to get my car that I'm in now. The one I'm in now is not four-wheel drive. And while it's okay, for some reason, this four-wheel drive one just, it has more torque or horsepower or something. There's something that's different. I haven't figured it out. I haven't researched it a whole lot, but I want my 4MATIC back. I want my four-wheel drive, darn it. My all-wheel drive, not four-wheel. There's a difference. So this is the one that I found, and it's beautiful. If it were black, because it's a really dark gray, if it were black, I'm afraid to say I'd probably be going to the dealership this weekend, because it's even at the same dealership that I bought my current car at. So my salesperson was a new salesperson, but I wonder if he's still there. I'd go give him some more business. Now, the reason why I'm doing this was to see how much how much cash I'm gonna need to save when I'm ready to trade in my car. So this car is $43,995. And so I wrote this down. Now let me find my right paper. So this is a difference of basically $16,000. So $16,000 is that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, because a lot of my older cars are not worth $16,000. In fact, the old car that I have right now, the 03, is certainly not anywhere near being worth $16,000. But in my opinion, $16,000 versus basically $44,000 is not a lot. So $16,000 would be $1,000 a month for 16 months. So I'm already on the $1,000 a month save plan right now. So I'm good, and I could easily get there by next year, probably next summer. Maybe if I waited until Christmas of 20, what year are we in? Christmas of 26, that would be ideal because again, I want to give myself a big Christmas present again because I'm, kind of a spoiled little brat. But I can do this. And so this is what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is pull up my little fancy calculator and I'm going to say this car, let's pretend we're, a year and a half down the road or whatever, a year down the road, and this was still available. Obviously it wouldn't be, and obviously the prices will have changed and whatever. But let's just pretend I'm trying to buy a car now, this month, next month, whatever. So I'm going to take the price of the car that I want, which is $43,995, and I'm going to subtract how much the dealership will give me for my car. Now the dealership that I go to, Sewell, where is it? There it is. Sewell is pretty good. They're pretty reasonable. Their prices are maybe a touch high, but it's because they have good quality cars and I trust them 100%. They also provide the car washes forever, as long as you own the car. So that's awesome. I'll take it and I'll go get my car washed every weekend. This is why I go every Saturday. This is why. So again, the difference is $16,185. Now let's pretend, so it is what, February this month? Let's pretend next February I want to start looking for a car. So I know that I'm going to have saved about $16,000 before then. So let's get an exact amount of how much I need to save before then. So all I'm going to do is just divide that by 12 months. So that's $1,349 per month that I would need to save if I started with zero. Right now, if I had $0 saved, I would need approximately $1,349 per month I would need to save. That's a lot. It can be done. I can guarantee that. Because $300 is my Amazon bill every month, so I may as well just stop shopping at Amazon. I could have $1,300 easily. But at least this way I know what the possibilities are. Now, if we go back a step, so let's bring back our 16,185. And let's pretend I'm going to give myself until Christmas of 2026, next year. So that would mean I would have 10 months. So if I did 16,000 divided by 10 months, no, that's, I'm sorry, that's 22 months. I'm sorry, I don't know how to count. Divided by 22 months, that's only $736 a month that I would have to save. And because this isn't a car payment, and this is just my own savings that I want to do, if I have to skip a month because I break my leg and have to pay for the hospital bill, I can do that. I'm not tied to this amount. If at any point I decide, you know what, I'm going to keep my car for 5 more years, I can just stop. I can just stop saving. It's not like a car payment. Because with a car payment, if you stop paying, you're going to have repossession. If you stop saving because you decide you're going to keep your car, you decide you want a different, cheaper car or whatever, you have that free will. You can just stop saving. So that's how I figure out how I'm going to get my next car. And I haven't researched car pricing since I bought my last car. So I don't know. I wasn't aware how much they cost at this point in my life. I know that I spent approximately $40. It was $39.99 for $39,999 for the car I'm in now. So it's very similar. But my problem with this whole thing is that this is only 2 years newer. So I kind of want at least a 2024, which would be 3 years newer. I think every 3 years is a good number for me. This is not necessary for anyone. Cars drive for hundreds of thousands of miles. I trust the Mercedes brand. If I wanted to keep it for 200,000 miles, I would have no problem with it. As long as I maintain it, guess what? This car is going to drive. I don't want to drive it for that long, though. So I am going to, I believe, Christmas of 26. If I can hang on that long. I don't know. It might be Christmas of this year. I don't know. We'll see. Also because I don't want the value of my car to go down too much. So that's how you can figure out what car you can afford and how much you need to save in order to afford whatever car you want. Now, if I go looking for Bentleys, guess what? I can't afford it. if I go and find an inexpensive, I don't know, older Ford Focus, I could afford that easily. That may only be $200 a month for me to save in order to get there. Or it could be an even trade because I have a trade, right? So, these are numbers that you should figure out, that you should know. I'm going to stop the screen recording and come back on screen. Now, here's the things that I'm looking at while I'm looking to get a different car. The cars that are available right now, the one that I found that I actually liked is a 2023. That's only 2 years newer than the car I'm driving. So that wouldn't be a good investment it's not an investment because I'm just giving money away. So it's not an investment. That would not be a good option for me. I need it to be a minimum of 3 years newer, or whenever they have the style upgrade, the style change. When they change the style, that's the year that I want to get the next car at. The 21, I believe, is the year that they switch the style. Now, because I bought it in 24, it was 3 years old, so that style is already getting old. But from what I can tell, the style looks exactly the same as I'm looking at this 2023. So I don't know. But so those are some things that I was thinking of. And then also, obviously, as time goes on and as I drive, my mileage is going to go higher, which is going to lower the value of my current car. So keeping that in mind. And then also, if I get to, what would it be, 2026, and I decide either one way or the other, either I don't need to switch cars at all, which hopefully one day I could agree to that. I don't think I will, but I could. Or if I think I could probably get a less expensive car, because unfortunately my main thing that I don't like about my car is its color. And am I a car racist of some sort? I don't, is that possible? I love my car. It's comfortable. It's beautiful other than the color. It drives well. Everything's fabulous about it. It's got low mileage. I trust it. If I were to get rear-ended, I trust it. If I were to get sideswiped, I trust it. It's a good car. It's a good car. I don't need to get rid of it. But when I look at it, I just am not in love. And if I'm going to spend, I already spent it, so I guess it doesn't really matter. The money's already gone. It's a lost, what do you call it? A lost cause, but that's not what I mean. I've already lost that money. It's already gone. So it doesn't matter how much I spent for it, because I've already spent it. It's already gone. I can't bring that money back. The moment I drove off the lot, I already lost money because I paid for it at that time. So I need to figure out what's most important for me. So when you're doing this kind of money budgeting, basically is what you're doing, is you're budgeting your future. And so I'm trying to budget my future, keeping into account all of the other things that I want in my life. So I have a birthday in the summer and I usually do something very nice for my birthday. And so that will come out of the savings account. Now, I'm putting the money that I'm saving in my car. That's the saving, quote unquote, saving account. It's not a savings account, but it's just checking account, but whatever. That's my savings account. And so that's where the money for my I don't have parties. That's the money for my birthday. That's where that'll come from. So now I have to decide, do I need to save more money per month until my birthday so that I don't lose saving for my car? These are things you should all think about as you're going through and trying to save money for something, because priorities change over time, right? And so in June, my birthday is going to be much more important than a car that I'm going to buy in a year or whatever. So I have to keep that in mind. I also have to keep in mind that I'm just being a spoiled brat, and it's completely unnecessary, 100% unnecessary. And I guess as long as I recognize that, I'm okay with it. And as long as, more importantly, this is what I should say, as long as I can afford it, it's okay. That's what I should be saying. Because if I'm a spoiled brat and I want to buy something, but I have to go finance it, that being spoiled doesn't matter, because you shouldn't be financing stuff no matter what. So as long as I can afford it, I can buy it, in theory. I mean, that sounds a little broad, but in general, within reason. If I can afford it, I can buy it. So this is just something that came about as I was watching. I now that I'm thinking about it, I think it was Anthony O'Neill's video. I'll try to link it below. I never remember to link stuff below, but I'm going to do my best to link it below. Because he talked about this reverse engineering. Put the amount that you want to save and then reverse engineer how long you have to save it and figure out how much per month you need to set aside in order to buy that thing that you're saving for. Whatever it is. It could be a house, it could be a car, it could be a desk, it could be a new pair of shoes, whatever it is. Take the total amount and reverse engineer it. So if you're trying to save $500 within 3 months, put $500 divided by 3 months or divided by how many paychecks you have until then, if it's a smaller amount, and then that'll tell you how much money you need to set aside every time. Do that and you can hit your goals. If you have no budget, no plan, no nothing, you're just flying by the seat of your pants, you're never going to get your budget. You're never going to hit your goals because you have no plan. You have no plan. You have to have a plan. Set a budget up for yourself. Figure out how much you need to save. Figure it out. And then do it. Doing it and setting up the plan are the two things you need to care about. Those are the two things. Maybe I should name this video that. 2 things you need to do to buy a car. Set the plan and do it. Save it. Save the money. Stop financing stuff, especially cars, which go down in value every mile you drive them. It's the stupidest thing to finance ever in life. Oh, I hope I didn't offend. I probably offended everyone on here. I'm sorry. It's just the truth, though. The truth hurts sometimes. The truth hurts. And maybe if you have to finance a car, maybe that means you need to take it down a notch and buy a less expensive car. Save for 6 months or 12 months and buy a less expensive car. You know, if you drive a $30,000 car and you're making a $800 payment per month and you can't afford it, maybe drive a $10,000 car for a while and afford that instead. You know what I'm saying? It's think about it. If you saved $800 a month for 1 year, $800 a month for 1 year, you would have more than $10,000 in cash to go spend on a car, right? Isn't that it? Do I know how to math? Maybe I don't know how to math properly. I'm pretty sure I know how to math. It'd be a little bit over a year. No, because it's 8 months. 800, I mean. Don't listen to me. I don't know how I need a calculator. I can't do math in my head. Y'all probably think I'm stupid. I don't know. I promise. When I budget, I use a calculator. I promise. And you should too. So, in the end, you should budget. You should follow your budget once you make your budget. And you should make a plan and stick to it. Stick to your plan. If you can make your plan and stick to it, you'll be so much happier because you won't have so many concerns about what you can afford or what you cannot afford or, you know, what happens when your tires go bad or, you know, whatever. You can do it. You can make it happen. You can. I promise you. Okay? Believe me. Okay, I'm done. I can't handle anymore. So let me tell you this. Invest in yourself today so you can make a difference for others tomorrow. Remember that. Thanks so much. Give the video a big thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe. When you subscribe, you should hit the bell so you know when the next video comes out. Thanks so much, y'all. Y'all have a great one.